Hey, everybody. Welcome to Grassroots Podcast. This is episode 190, right, Chris? Am I right?
190.
190,
You are
bam,
right,
off
sir.
the dome. I'm one of the illustrious hosts, the regular Nas.
Don't ever say off the dome again. Don't ever say that again. Off the dome. Say off the head top or something. I don't know. Something like that. But what do you mean? More tunes for your head top? No? All right, forget it. Brandon Killabh, y'all. I'm here.
Erin Ashley Simon.
I'm Wylson.
And what's going on, everybody? Oh, my fault. Go ahead, Brandon. I thought I was getting a little big for my bridges. My fault. No.
Go.
We're going to introduce the topic. We're going to
go.
Listen, I just want to get this week. We're going to get into Ice Cube. I want to get everybody's thoughts on where Ice Cube stands with President Trump, because he went from a song talking about wanting to kill the president to now backing him with the platinum plan. So I want to get everybody's thoughts and opinions on Ice Cube.
Okay. Well, I think it's important to give some history, right, on just the relationship between Ice Cube, law enforcement, and then as well as his battle against the government, right? So as we all know, Ice Cube came out straight out of Compton, was very, very vocal early in the 80s about police brutality, about injustice, and made a brand off of that, which then catapulted him into being one of the strongest figures we have in culture to date. Early on within 45's reigns, he was very vocal in his dismay towards him. That then went from there to him being very vocal and then making a song allegedly about taking the president out. It then came out in the news within the past week and a half or so that Ice Cube has been actually supporting and taking meetings with the White House, specifically the Trump administration, and everyone went into an uproar. Now, I'll say that the way media framed it, it didn't really help. It really did make him look like a sellout, but I don't want to go with that thought yet. I want to hear what you guys think thus far, just with that bit of information. How are we feeling?
Well, first off, what makes someone a sellout? I feel like there are words that are being thrown around a lot, like cancel culture, sellout. What actually entails and makes someone a sellout? I think that's the first thing we should probably start with.
That's a dangerous term. Those are dangerous assertions that people make in the Black community specifically. It's like Uncle Tom, right? But Uncle Tom, if you read the book, wasn't the quote unquote race trader. It was Sambo. Uncle Tom did everything to protect his people and to get them to freedom. But that sellout meaning if you counter Black culture, if you go against what the majority of Black culture is doing, you're somehow treated as a pariah or an outcast, a leopard, for a lack of a better term. And like Ice Cube said, when he started rapping, the dope boy said he was a sellout. When he started making movies, the rapper said he was a sellout. Then he owned a basketball league. Everybody called him a sellout. Then the arena started to sell out. Now that he's working with President Trump, he's again considered a sellout. Mm-hmm. So in John Q. Public's eyes, Ice Cube can't get it right, which is unfortunate because he's done everything to be a successful Black man in entertainment and in business. He's owned his own league, a very successful league at that. Mm-hmm. That term, I do not like it. If you speak proper grammar, if you're articulate, if you're intelligent, if you raise your hand during class, your peers sometime make fun of you. Mm-hmm. For what? And that's a stigma that's specific to the Black community. I don't know how, I can't speak for any other community, but I know nobody says, "Oh, you raise your hand, were you a egghead? What do you this, see that?" But my man, I don't call it selling out. He bought in. It's a $500 billion plan to help African Americans. It's what Wylson and I were saying last week. How are you mad at this? And not you guys, you Aaron, and Brandon. but you, the general you, how are you mad at someone wanting to uplift your community?
So, all right, let's stop. Oh, go, Wylson.
No, I mean, I thought it was a good plan last week when I mentioned it before I even knew that Ice Cube was even a part of it. On top of that, if he's if he's trying to do something for black people and you call him a sellout, what does that make you?
Sambo.
Sambo. Now, I agree with all of y'all, by the way. I think to go back to Erin's original question of what makes him a sellout, I think it's merely because it's Trump and it's Ice Cube. I feel like, and even still, not for nothing, we were talking about Kanye before this. I feel like Kanye got hit harder than what Cube is getting hit right now. I think that the other reason why I think it's starting to kind of subside the way people are taking to or not taking to Cube now is simply because of the fact that he addressed it head on, saying, hey, look, you guys can say whatever you want to say. Y'all know me, I'm 30 years in. If in order for us to make change, it has to start from the inside. So yes, I am having conversations with the administration. That doesn't change my political views and or what I've done and fought for throughout this time, but something has to change. I feel like all right, so let me ask you this. If this was a black president in office right now, right?
Right.
And Cube is doing exactly what he's doing right now with this 500 plan, do you think people would still be as mad? Do you think it's a matter of that because it's number one, President Trump, and because there's a race issue there that's been a looming race issue? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Are you asking if it was a black Republican in office?
That's specific. I'm just saying just in general.
Well,
just in general.
Well, if it's a black Democrat or a Democrat in general, black people aren't going to have a problem with it because that's the side that we all root for. But if it's a Republican or a Republican, we automatically, you know what I'm saying, call the man racist. I'm not saying he's not racist, but he's been asked to denounce racism. He has multiple times at this point. White supremacy as well. He had to do it at his recent town hall. I'm not sure if I saw that.
I saw it, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that. That wasn't a denounce. That wasn't a stand. That was
he said multiple times there, I denounce white supremacy. I denounce white supremacy.
He did say that.
Now what else? And then she was like, well, you kind of didn't do it fast enough.
Hold on. So I just want to be clear. Hold on, really quickly. While he said, I denounce racism, he then said in the same vein when speaking about Quanon, and then said, well, I mean, I don't know what they do.
What do they do, Brandon? What does Quanon do? I've never heard of that until she asked him of it.
It's QAnon, and QAnon is, I don't even think they're a real thing. Like basically they're a conspiracy group that's basically talking about how the Democrats are involved in like pedophilia and all that.
Correct. But what I'm saying is that was a very distinct answer on the first go round. Let me finish. Let me finish. It took for an uproar of people for him to actually acknowledge it. And even still, while you guys bought into that, I still didn't buy into it. It just seemed disingenuous. It didn't seem real.
That's cool. So
wait, just quickly to jump in. I want us to kind of stay on track with the plan. So with the plan, it's also important to note that Trump's plan doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be concisely the plan of what Ice Cube and them originally set. I think that's important to note. Any plan that goes into voting process is not going to be fully what it is because they have to vote on the different, both parties have to agree on every single clause that's within the actual plan itself. So although this is the plan that we're seeing right now, it may not be the plan that actually gets voted on. Just making that very clear.
Vote on the minutia. The Democrats
they have to vote on all the different things. Yeah, and they said that Ice Cube spoke to him about it, and he's also speaking to obviously Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But for the viewers and listeners, it's important to know that just because a plan is written up does not mean that's the plan that's actually going to be approved.
Basically.
Well, also
that's
what,
all I'm saying.
Yeah. Also, what Cube had said, I'm not sure if he updated what he said, but he said he went to the Democrats first, and they told him come back after elections.
They told him to stand by. They told him to stand by.
Yeah,
Stand by. Stand back. Stand by.
But
And then-
but also think
No,
about it.
I wasn't done. Oh, my fault.
Oh no, I was gonna say, but think about it too. What can they do when the majority of the House is Republican, right?
Come up with a plan.
No,
Come up with a plan. Tell me something. Don't tell me. Hold on, fam. When I come to you and ask you for a plan,
Yeah.
don't tell me to stand by.
Yeah.
Wait till after the election.
But
I just want to hear something.
But also in the same breath, we've asked Trump and Pence for plans, especially for economic plans, and they didn't give it. So
he said $500 billion.
It's a two-way street. All I'm saying is, I know you guys are going hard right now for Democrats, and it's rightfully so, but don't sit here and act like Trump and Pence. We haven't asked them for certain policies in place, and they're still not answering it. So
the man had 4 years in office, 4 years in politics.
What does that have to do
Biden
with
it? Kamala Harris
4 years
and Joe
yeah,
Biden have
also,
over 60 years.
Yeah,
they
but also the Trump administration have been putting policies that have been targeting diversity hiring and also the LGBTQ plus. So although we see this, it's actually, even if they do enact this, right? We also have to keep in mind that there's still biases when it comes to banks and mortgages, and there's still a lot more that we need to fix. Just saying that you're going to invest $500 million, it's vague terminology. Where are you investing it?
Well, there was a lot more in the Platinum Plan than just that. The $500 billion is to help out with growing Black businesses.
Yeah, but even still, you have to vote. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't mean that it's going to be allocated in the way that we wanted it to be allocated, because there's too many variables. There's too many. The voting system in terms of the Republicans and what they want, it may not be the bill that we want at the end of the day.
You know,
and on top of that,
but listen,
I'm not.
Everything that you're saying is true. That's true. If the Democrats came up with a plan, it would be the same system. The only thing is, though, the Democrats haven't laid out anything.
I'm not.
Hold on.
What you're not listening to is we cannot have our high hopes yet. We still have a lot more to do. That's all I'm saying. And
what you're saying is a fact.
We have to hold both parties accountable. Every time we're having this conversation, I know you guys go super hard for Democrats, but let's also go super hard for Republicans because they have the majority for voting. We have
Better
to go
the
hard
devil
for
I
both.
know. Better the devil I know.
I keep reiterating that in every single episode. You can go and check. I've been reiterating that. If we're going to go hard for one, you need to go hard for the other, considering the Republicans control the voting power right now. They control it. And they may be putting another Republican into the Supreme Court. So all I'm saying is like, I know the Democrats haven't done a great job. And also, let's remember, the Democrats party used to be the Republican party. So it's both parties at fault. So let's keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying.
The reason why I'm going so hard at the Democrats right now is because in our communities, we don't know the other side at all. There's always going to be people to defend the Democrats and everything else. You have to point out their flaws, or else people aren't going to know. As far as Brandon saying that Trump never denounced QAnon, Biden still hasn't denounced Antifa when he was asked.
Word.
So it like you say, E, things happen on both sides. Now, as far as this plan goes, the Platinum Plan for, to help boost the economic system in the Black community or whatever else, we can sit here and pick it apart. It hasn't gone into play yet. But the Democrats haven't offered anything. That has to say something. That has to be pointed out.
I think the one thing that they have offered is sanitary.
And rap battles.
Let me finish. Now you got, and that's fine. You said,
hold on.
No. Now we here. If you want to talk about rap battles, number one, if you want to go on this presidential defense that you're running, he hasn't been doing well. He's been tweeting all crazy stuff. Like he's the same person again that's still putting lives at risk. Number one, you want to talk about Democrats. At least the party is looking at the numbers. They're looking at the data. They're looking at the casualty rate and looking at the things that are happening, and they're taking it serious. The person that you're backing right now with this air quotes plan is not even taking it serious. Even as it's affected his own home, he's still not. And you sit here and want to back that plan, this imaginary plan that still has not been even put into, what information do you know about it? All you know is that there's imaginary money and we're supposed to get it. That's all you guys know. You don't have any information on this.
So listen,
give me information.
Essentially, what
I want to hear information. Don't tell me.
Oh no, I'm going to give you some information.
Please.
I got you.
Please.
Essentially, what you're saying is that the man can say nothing to satisfy you. That's
not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm
saying. Brandon, we can see it.
That's not what I'm saying. Go back to my recordings.
Let Wilson get this off.
Credit.
Let Wilson get this off, man.
Okay.
What do you mean? He's not getting it off. I'm on record.
Let me go. I'm cooking, baby. So listen. You mentioned tweeting earlier. You said he's tweeting a bunch of crazy things. I'm glad that you went there. Are you familiar with Hunter Biden, son of Joe Biden? It's not to insult him. It's just to say this. He has had drug problems. This man is running around getting millions from other countries using his father's name. And he was using the name while he was in office, saying, hey, if you give me a little bit more money, I'll set up a sit down with my guy, which is his dad. So now this story comes out, and then all of a sudden, social media starts rolling out this fact-checking stuff. They've been suppressing this story from people's feeds and whatnot. That's dangerous. Here goes the reason why. They're not allowing us to even have a full scope of what's going on politically because they're battling for one side.
Let me ask you one question.
We should not be okay with that.
No, I understand. I understand. Hold on. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me just address
this.
Hold on one second.
So wait,
hold on. Let me address this, please. I just want to say, while you say all of these things about the man's son, that could be anyone's home. Number one. Number two, has Biden been investigated? Let me finish.
Okay.
Has Biden been investigated?
Investigated for
Has
what?
Biden been investigated? Are we forgetting about? Are we forgetting about Russia? Are we forgetting about all of that stuff?
And I'm so glad that you said that.
Collusion.
And I'm so glad that you said that. So
that's all I'm saying.
Hold on. So while all that was going on,
and I can't make my point. All I'm simply saying is that for both sides, it's mush. You keep for every situation that you bring up, I can bring up the same exact thing.
Okay.
That's all I've been trying to say this entire episode. You keep bringing something, I can bring you the exact same thing.
Okay, perfect. So you mentioned Russia, right? 4 years of people putting out articles and everything else, no facts behind it. Did any social media site say, oh, let's start this fact checking stuff?
Mad allegations of Trump. What can you say?
No, excuse me.
What can you say?
Excuse me.
Like, if y'all gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. For everything that you say, I can give you.
Biden got accused of the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, he was touching women's chest.
You're saying the exact same thing that I'm saying, gentlemen.
Hold on, Brandon. Hello. Thank you. All right. You're talking about locker room talk with President Trump. Locker room talk. He was talking to Bush, whatever the nephew was, on a bus. When he thought the mics were off, he's talking about
you're talking about particulars. I'm saying messy. I'm saying messy in general. Messy in general.
First of all, 45 has been nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. He has brought the troops home, something that Barry said he was going to do and never did. Mm-hmm. The Middle East is the Middle East is stabilizing. American lives, i.e. the troops, have been brought home or being brought home. And the country is safer for it. He's been nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. Granted, he didn't win one like Barry. He didn't win one like Barry. I get
Y'all are missing the point.
No, I'm not missing the point. Joe Biden's son is being investigated right now by the U.S. authorities as of.
But that's his son. It's not Biden.
But he's using his father's name, Brandon.
And I believe there is proof that Biden did hold a meeting with one of those things, so he actually followed through on it. Now,
fact checked it first before you say.
Fact check
cool.
that.
Okay, cool. See now, I also want. I want to make one thing clear. I'm not campaigning for either side. Okay.
Facts.
The thing that I have a problem with is our people are asleep right now. Okay. And this isn't an insult to either one of you two at all.
Oh, it's not, because I've been saying the middle arguing against both, so you can't
Exactly.
even say it.
No, but
I'm on record.
No, I'm just saying that because I don't want anybody to take offense.
He don't want no smoke.
But our people
Yeah.
are asleep. Our people are asleep. They don't know what the Democrats are doing at all. And they should be concerned about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I will say is the argument that I'm trying to make is the best way to keep both parties, our people awake, is to address both sides. That's all I'm saying. The same way that, Wylson, you've been going hard against the Democrats. I'm not saying that's the problem, but what I constantly am countering you with is you need to say both. You have the only way that we can educationally inform our community is to put both up front.
Here goes the reason why I don't talk about Trump. What am I going to tell you bad about Trump that you don't already know?
It's not about bad. It's about the actual information. Everything that I've been saying was not anything against him personally. I've been saying specifically, they did not put an economic plan. I said specifically that even though the platinum plan has been brought up, it does not mean that this plan is going to be what is finalized, because that is just how the voting system is. Everything that I've been saying has been actual information, and it's been the policies. I haven't said anything about my personal feelings for this guy. I don't like the guy, but I'm saying straight facts. You have to put the information, the policies, and you have to actually educate and tell them how these things go. That's why I'm stressing and telling everyone, yes, this is a plan, but don't be giddy and happy yet, because this may not even be the plan that it ends up being, because there's still a whole voting process. That's the problem that we have with media, and that's the problem we have with information. It's only one side. There's not that many platforms that are specifically saying, this is one side, this is the other. Yeah, they did this wrong, and they did this wrong. They did this right, and they did this right. And we have to have it more like that, because we have to not only educate, but we have to allow people to make the decisions on their own. I have friends who are Black and Republican, and I'm completely okay with that. But then I also have friends who are Democrat socially, and they may be fiscally Republican. We have to provide the information to allow people to make the best decisions themselves. We can't keep telling, oh, if you're Black, you gotta vote Democrat, or oh, you can't if you're from the boonies and you're white and you have a Confederate flag, you have to vote Trump. That's the main problem that we're seeing right now, is too many one-sided conversations instead of having a holistic view of what actually is going on and the policies are out. Because there are a lot of people that don't even know who said what policy, who did it, who did this, they don't know. So that's why I'm pushing you hard, and I'm pushing everyone hard, jumping in saying, that's not correct. This is what they said. That's what they did. Well, and that's why I'm trying, and that's why I've been more of the neutral person and fact person during these conversations, because the one thing I've noticed is a lot of platforms aren't doing that. And people are relying on social media, and we know how easily these bots and all these stupid stuff can skew people's viewpoint. And I'm also holding us accountable as a group to stay more in that angle. That's all. And that's all I've been doing for the past several episodes.
And all I'm saying is I agree with you. I don't hate Trump. Like, it's not that serious to me. I don't invest much energy into it, because it's kind of like, you know what it is. There's enough examples for me to kind of, if I want to go personally. I'm talking about just from an administration standpoint, both of them, you can bring up some sort of scandal, some sort of allegation, some sort of trial and tribulation that they're currently going through and or have gone through that could make both administrations look crazy. Even with all of that, you have to be able to weed through the mush of what those situations are and make the most informed and best decision in order for you to do what's best for the people and for the country. Honing in on like different family situations, or honing in on certain policies maybe that they inherited or have to clean up, exiting that the White House and administration. I never feel like it's fair. I feel like it's a constant cleanup job anytime you're going into the White House. But to then make it seem like it's all hunky-dory on both sides, where both of them literally in my head cannot be held, are being held 50-50. Like 50% of them of the House, I'm sure, are caught up into all these different scandals and all this other stuff. And then there's other 50% of the House that are probably good, but that's in both houses in general. And we have to be more informed about it. If not, we can make uninformed decisions. And that's all my point has ever been.
Listen, all I have to say is the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, the i.e. third party in the presidential candidacy has to step up, and they have to stop looking like clowns. They got a guy named Howie Hawkins from upstate New York. The guy works the night shift at UPS. Shout out to the UPS. They employ a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm looking at some of his policies and I don't want a socialist running for president. I don't want somebody that's half in, half out, who can't make a full commitment because of his full-time job. I need somebody that's all in. I think these parties have to do a better job at getting solid candidates with real political experience. And we have to have a better system in place. This two-party Democrat, Republican, the money's funneling in. That's the real issue. Mm-hmm. When companies are helping back candidates, the people, the American people on both sides, whether you're black, white, or other, are being sacrificed. We're the pawns in this. Howie Hawkins is not doing it for me, bro. Sis, it's not. Just President Howie Hawkins, I can't get behind it. I can't get behind it, and it's disrespectful and shameful that America, as a whole, that we allow ourselves to have a system like this, man. Like it's comical and it's disgraceful, to be honest with you, man. I think more people need to start investigating into the system of politics than just this two-party bull crap.
Hold on. So let me ask you, because hold on. I was going to say, because that can tie back into listening too. So let's tie in listening, and then let's tie in buying into, what did you say? What was the last part? You said buying into what?
Ice Cube?
No. Yes, I'm leading back into Ice Cube. Honestly, it's me thinking, and I think we're all aligned here, is that while Cube is working with administrations, and we've all pointed out that he's gone to both sides, right? He still is trying in an unconventional way to get the job done for our people, and for whatever reason, we're still not even being receptive to that alternate route. What do you think that he would have to do outside of listening? Because we've heard what he said. What more would he need to do in order to fix this the facade that people are saying about him? That he's Uncle Tom and that he's a sellout. What would Cube need to do?
Not a damn thing. The hell would the people think, man? He knows what he's doing. He can't worry. If he worried about what everybody said, he would have never been as successful. He wouldn't up until Bill Cosby got convicted of his allegations. He was the next Bill Cosby. He was America's dad. Are we there yet? You went from America's Most Wanted, spelled with 3 Ks, and F the police, to the next Cliff Huxtable. If he thought about if he was concerned rather with what everyone thought of him, he wouldn't have had anything. He wouldn't have accomplished anything, man. You have to sit down sometimes with people that you disagree with in order to get things done for the greater good. You have to find people and we as a society have to be able to say, okay, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with your lifestyle. I may not agree with your politics. I may not agree with your religion, but we can find common ground in order for everyone in this country to live an acceptable life and a safe life. Yeah. I don't have to like you. I don't have to, everything doesn't have to be kumbaya, and everybody doesn't have to hold hands and light the candles and do incense. Everybody's not on that type of time. We can all just say, you know what, respectively, cool, that's you over there, sis, bro, person, whoever you want to, identify as, cool, that's you.
He doesn't have to prove anything to people who aren't doing anything. Look at the way. Look at the way how the people had treated.
Note that, Chris.
Look at the way how people.
That's a good point.
Look at the way how people had treated Virgil Abloh after they thought he only donated $50, when in all actuality he's donated over $1 million to the cause, but he only posted the $50 bill because he felt like that's what most people could afford. And he wanted to set that example of you can give anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter how big, no matter how small, people killed him.
But you know what that goes
because they
back
didn't
to?
know. Yeah.
That goes back to the fact that there are platforms that are very one-sided, that are not giving the full scope of things. It all goes back to that. People don't take the time to research. They only take what is put in place in front of them. If we constantly put in front of them a one-sided perception, then that's what they're going to go with. And that's the problem. That's the problem with just media in general. That's why I don't just watch Fox News or CNN, or like, I get my news everywhere, because you have to make them a more concise opinion from it. But I also think partially the blame is on us as people, because we can be lazy. Let's keep it a buck. We could be lazy, and we rather, like I said in the last episode, we rather worry about what hip hop artist has a breakup or divorce or who's shaking their ass. We care more about that stuff than we do about some of the policies. If people have been paying attention, some of the biggest things that have been happening in terms of government legislations and policies have been happening during moments where we're just so focused on like what's happening in hip hop or what's happening in terms of someone's relationship. It correlates, and sometimes when there's stupid things that are trending, what do you think the government and politicians do? They slide it right in when you're not paying attention. People got to pay attention more, man. They slide it right in. They've been doing that. They've been doing that all the time, man.
To your point, we're actually worse than lazy. You heard?
Sorry, Wilson. I was just laughing.
No, it's all good.
He made a joke, and it yeah, but
yeah, I swear to God, I didn't mean to cut you off either. I was trying to keep a straight face, and then he just kept laughing. I'm like, oh my God.
Sorry, Wilson. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna say, to your point, we're actually worse than lazy. We're judgy, and that's the problem. So.
Yeah, but judginess also comes from ignorance. We judge based upon what we think we know and what we actually need to know, or what is actually the truth. There's three versions of the truth. There's your truth, there's my truth, and there's the actual truth. A lot of times we don't take the time to figure out the actual truth. We spend more time reflecting on what we think is the truth.
Yep.
And going against what you think is the truth. When in actuality, if we put our truths together, we would actually have more commonalities than differences. That's the problem. And that's why I, kind of going back to Ice Cube's point, going back to that stuff, I think it's also important to note, like, personally for me, I mean, I was on record. I didn't really believe that Trump was sincere about this platinum plan information. I don't think he was. And I still don't think he's sincere about it. But what politician is, right? However, I think what Ice Cube is doing is smart. He's playing both sides against each other. He's doing exactly what they do. My question, this is a rhetorical question, but it's also my question to you guys. What do you think both parties need right now? And he's playing.
The black vote.
They need the black vote.
Yeah.
Ice Cube, what he's doing is smart. Now, the only thing is, obviously, we don't know what the conversations are behind the scenes. What are the biggest thing is, what are the guarantees, right? What are the guarantees if this policy plan goes through? What are the guarantees if that person gets elected? We may not know that. They may be just kind of having behind the scenes. But right now, he can kind of help to instill certain guarantees. It's just all about how he moves. It's at the end of the day, it's a game of chess. It's just about who's playing it better than the other. And right now, he is having both parties go against each other because they need the black vote right now, especially because economy is one of the biggest problems. COVID is one of the biggest problems, and it's impacting the Black and Latin community at a higher rate and low-income areas at a higher rate. And so both parties need that vote. And so right now, he's holding them kind of at the palm of his hands, and that's why you're seeing the Democrats now meeting up with him. That's why you're seeing Trump is trying to enact this as soon as possible and try to put it into place as a way to get more votes for the election. We all know during the election time, people put policies just to get votes.
Yeah. Also, to piggyback off that too, the timing was important as well. I thought that, and now thinking about it, I do think the reason why I think everyone went into uproar, even if there was no, let's say if media didn't kind of spin it in a negative way, I think the timing of it was bad timing as well, just because of the fact that he wasn't denouncing prior to, he didn't denounce racism or any of those things. And then these articles came out that Ice Cube was working with him. So I think that also needed to be noted too, that the timing of it just didn't sit well with people. Fresh off of debates, fresh off of tensions running high because things were missed in the debate. People didn't get the information that they wanted to. And then boom, one of our legends is allegedly, a traitor of sorts. So I think that that's important to note too. But yeah, well said. I don't really have much to say outside of that piece.
But 45 did denounce racism multiple times.
No, I said that. What I'm saying,
you talking about the Proud Boys, but the Proud Boys are not necessarily all Caucasian, by the way. I want to ask you guys a question. What do you think about shortening the terms of the president to 2-3-year terms? Just for shits and giggles. What do you think, and putting limits on how long you can run for Senate and the House of Representatives too?
I wouldn't. Sorry, go.
No, I was just gonna say, what do you think about shortening those terms? Because a lot of these career politicians have been making a lot of money just off of I'll do it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it, and just kicking the can, sort of metaphorically.
I wouldn't shorten the presidential one, but I would change the rulings for the Senate and the House. And also even some of the financial gains that they get from holding those positions. Mm-hmm. There needs to be some stipulation where if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, that they can be removed. Like you said, too many of them just sit in there and receive that nice salary. And just coast and chill, and they need to be held to the fire more.
I mean, I think the lifetime appointment definitely could change. As far as changing the presidential one, if you shorten it, it's already hard enough to get something done in 4 years. Yeah, it's hard to get stuff done in 8 years. You know what I'm saying? You shorten it, they probably won't be able to get anything done.
Well, that's because the Senate and the House of Reps, they're career politicians.
Yeah.
So if I have nothing but time,
I think a bunch of things would have to change. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But even legislation, as well as pushing through bills, that takes long as well too. To Wilson's point, a lot would need to be done. I think shortening any term would be a really, really bad mistake. I don't even think that as many bills would get pushed through if the terms were shorter, just because it takes time. It's not something again, like we said earlier, it's a cleanup job. The one administration is coming in trying to do the best that they can to clean up one situation, to make it look good for Americans or comfortable, and then they exit, but it's still a mess. The next president comes in and rinse and repeat. The difference is, I feel like how some of the bills are passed could be maybe shortened. Maybe that there's things that could be taken out in the process.
Filibustering.
And a quick note, just to fix majority holding for pubs. That's what I call them. Senate. So I've mixed those up, but it's Senate that they have the majority holding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like filibustering to me is like the ultimate dickhead move. Like you can literally
explain to the audience what that is.
So if Brandon and Erin have a bill that they want to pass, but I have the floor, I can literally sit there, get a phone book. Mm-hmm. I can get the encyclopedia and read it from cover to cover.
Yep.
Until I yield my time. That's child's play.
It's stupidity.
Yeah. That like how old these are 56-year-old people, men and women, who sit up there and read stuff like that. So because you have a certain amount of time to pass that bill. So if I take the majority of that time to read the encyclopedia, to read the phone book, which has happened.
You read the phone book, Nas? So you do your pastime?
No, I don't read the phone book, but just think that's funny now. But these are people that we pay thousands of dollars to, thousands, who sit there and they think it's a goddamn game. Now let me put on my dad cap. Cut the goddamn malarkey. All right, cut. Goddamn, man. Like We have people are dying of starvation, of financial burdens. You are sitting there and you have the audacity, the temerity, to the sheer bravado to sit there and read that. Like that has to change. Those are the little details that have to change in the system in order to be more efficient. It has to be a more efficient system. It really does.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I also
I want to note. Go.
Oh no, I'll just say
I hate this lag. I'm sorry. I just hate the lag, yo. I hate the Zoom lag, yo. It makes me angry. I swear to God, I hate this lag. Go, my bad.
Oh man, I also personally, another thing for me too. I think when it comes to the Supreme Court as well as just legal, I think that if we're gonna have people have those very, very extensive terms, that they need to be people who have a history of being more neutral. That's my feelings. I don't like how naturally legislations is interpreted, even though it's their job to interpret it as neutral as possible. It's very hard for anyone to not interpret something that is based off of the influence of religion or anything else like that. But I think that, especially for legislation, I think it's important that we have people who are more neutral and can view it more objectively than subjectively. Because I also feel like there's certain things, I personally feel like there's certain things that shouldn't be implemented into government. Like, I don't think people should be implementing religious morals and values that's what they say, religious morals and values as a way to mask their decision. I think that at the end of the day, it's the decision should be made based off of human rights and the wellness of the citizens and people. And I don't think that, especially if we're talking about the religious aspect, I mean, look, the church has spent a lot of money for sexually abused victims, right? So I think that and I just say that because I know some people, they're very big on, like I said, the morals and values and upbringing that come with religion, but also there's negatives to that as well. Even control, historical periods of death and control go along with that. And I just think that when it comes to legislation, we should have people who can keep a more neutral approach and view it for the wellness of us as humans. I think if we view it as human rights and human well-being for these legislations, I think it changes your perception a lot more in terms of doing what's right for the people and not what's right for the dollars or right for your church group or whatever,
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Can I read the definition of filibuster real quick before you start, Brandon, just so our viewers,
Go.
So it's an informal term for any attempt to block or delay Senate action on a bill or other matter by debating it at length, by offering numerous procedural motions, or by any other delaying or obstructive actions. So, i.e., reading a goddamn
reading the book.
Yep.
Reading the book.
And what Chris put down too, for those who are listening, Senate term is 6 years and House is 2 years, and that's why the Democrats are fighting to get the majority in the Senate right now, and the Republicans have the majority in that, and that's because it's more long term. So.
Yeah. And there's no limit to terms. So, yeah, you can keep going back and back and back and back and back. Yeah. Go ahead, Brandon. Get your point off.
No, not so much a point. I just honestly wanted to say that I feel like this conversation was good. I feel like it was healthy. I hope that it's received well with you guys, the audience and viewership, just because these types of conversations I feel like need to happen, right? Like we need to unpack as much as we can so that we then can somehow provide enough information, going back to the original point, so that people can make informed decisions for this election. Now more than ever, I think it's important to do that. And now more than ever, should we be retaining and getting as much information as possible to do it. So I honestly want to thank all of you guys on the episode today. And I really, really hope that it lands well with the audience. I feel like this is one of our more important episodes leading up to this election.
Yes, and go vote. There are a lot of people doing early votes right now. Make sure you do that. Make sure you use black ink too when you're filling it out. Don't use purple, blue, red. It's not going to work. And also make sure that you're not just signing off or voting for someone just because of their party. Actually know what their policies are, please. And then also make sure you understand in terms of the information on the back, which is like the legalization of marijuana, the census delay, and what was the other one? Crap. There's another one on the back too.
I don't know, but y'all should do the census. That's for funding in your communities, people. Right, so you don't get old textbooks and things like that.
And also redistricting, redlining, basically. Yeah. So that's why it's important too.
Lastly, as well, if any of you guys don't know what to do, we've all been sharing information, be it helpful sites to either you can go vote online, you can find drop-off boxes in your local area. So if you want to reach out to any of us, again, we're either posting it or sharing that information directly with people. So definitely do that as well. Yeah. Anybody else have anything? We good? All right. You good? You good, Nas?
I'm good, baby. I'm always good, baby.
Don't call me baby. Wilson, you good?
Good to go.
All right. Chris, you the last in command. Are we good to go?
Yeah, we good. We good to go.
All right, Chris, close the show, Chris. Close the show.
Chris Bobs.
Chris Bobs. Chris Bobs.
All right, everybody, make sure you like, subscribe, follow this channel on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you catch us on Discord. The link is always on the description. And catch us next Tuesday.
Hey!
Chris Bobs, volume 24.
Bobs, we in here.
No, you know what's funny?
Always on point.
Yo, real quick. I don't know why we didn't suspect a rapper was behind the platinum plan to begin with.
Because it's platinum.
He had to get that last joke off.
I felt it.
We out. Peace.